Hello, my name's David and welcome to my YouTube channel. The purpose of this channel is for me to challenge myself by following various YouTubers, and by following them, the goal is to learn from their advice and learn from the exercises that they put out. And through that process, I'm hoping that I can grow in different ways. And so right now I'm trying to challenge myself to learn about communication. I am following a YouTuber named Vinh Giang, who is an absolutely fantastic communicator. I'm hoping that by following him, I can grow in just how I can communicate, both here on YouTube and also at home, as a husband, as a father, and also in my job as I am going about my day. So with that, let me jump right in. We've been going through a series recently where I have been following a series of 4 different things that Vinh Giang recommends as you're trying to figure out how to use different techniques within your voice. He talks about playing the piano as kind of a metaphor for speaking, instead of using something like a hammer, which is just like using your voice. And in this case, I'm trying to learn about how to use pitch, how to use volume, how to use speed, and how to use, what was the last one? I'm gonna forget about what the last one is now. Sorry for the loud noises in the background. I do live close to a road. Anyway, I'll come back to that. The point is that this time I'm going to be going through and I'm going to be trying to use the volume exercise. And so with that, I've been following through and reading a passage from Shakespeare. There's a speech by Henry V, just as he is outside of Agincourt with his army. And he is surrounded by a much larger army who is going to be attacking him. And so he's giving this rousing speech to try to encourage his men to join him in the fight. So with that, let's go ahead and jump right into this exercise. I'm very curious to see how this goes. Again, this exercise is purely to look at volume. And so as I'm reading this, I'm going to try to maintain a consistent speed. I'm not going to try to raise my pitch and lower my pitch. I'm just going to try to do stuff with volume. So we'll see how this goes. I've got a feeling that I won't be able to help myself. I'll end up have a different pitch and a little bit faster at times, but we'll see how this goes. All right, let's give this a shot. So it starts out with Westmoreland speaking out loud, and then King Henry follows up. So Westmoreland. Oh, that we now had here but 1/10,000 of those men in England that do no work today. What's he that wishes so? My cousin Westmoreland? No, my fair coz, if we are marked to die, we are now to do our country loss. And if to live, the fewer men, the greater share of honor. God's will, I pray thee, wish not one man more. By Jove, I am not covetous for gold, nor care I who doth feed upon my cost. It yearns me not if men my garments wear. Such outward things dwell not in my desires. But if it be a sin to covet honor, I am the most offending soul alive. No, faith, my coz, wish not a man from England. God's peace, I would not lose so great an honor, as one man more, methinks, would share from me, for the best hope I have. Oh, do not wish one more. Rather proclaim it, Westmoreland, through my host, that he which hath no stomach to this fight, let him depart. His passport shall be made, and crowns for convoy put into his purse. We would not die in that man's company, that fears his fellowship to die with us. This day is called the Feast of Crispian. He that outlives this day and comes safe home, would stand a tiptoe when this day is named, and rouse him at the name of Crispian. He that shall live this day and see old age, will yearly, on the vigil, feast his neighbors and say, Tomorrow is Saint Crispian. Then will he strip his sleeve and show his scars and say, These wounds I had on Crispin's day. Old men forget, yet all shall be forgot, but he'll remember with advantages what feats he did that day. Then our names, familiar in his mouth as household words, Harry the King, Bedford and Exeter, Warwick and Talbot, Salisbury and Gloucester, be in their flowing cups freshly remembered. And this story shall the good man teach his son, and Crispian shall ne'er go by from this day to the ending of the world, but we in it shall be remembered. We few, we happy few, we band of brothers. For he today that sheds his blood with me shall be my brother, be he ne'er so vile. This day shall gentle his condition. And gentlemen in England now abed shall think themselves accursed they were not here, and hold their manhoods cheap, whiles any speaks that fought with us upon St. Crispin's Day. Okay, there we go. I definitely heard my pitch go up and down at different times. I think when I go into a quieter area, it's a little bit harder for me to have a low voice. And so I might need to play with that at some point and see if it's possible for me to whisper legibly with a lower pitch. I also felt like I sped up and slowed down at different times just because as I'm speaking louder, I tend to speed up a little bit more. And so we'll just have to see how this goes. And so with that being said, on to the review. Okay, well, I reviewed it and I was absolutely right. I definitely did have a bit more raising in pitch and lowering in pitch than I meant to. And I also sped up a little bit here and there, although it was less than I expected. Something I also think is that I did not go as loud as I could. I think that being outside and being close to other places with people, a little bit scared to actually shout. And so I kind of kept myself smaller than I probably should have for this exercise. So I'll probably come back and do this exercise again at some point in a place where I can really be loud. Until then, I think this will have to do. Again, I've been trying very much just to do one take as much as I can, so we'll go with this one and then we'll kind of move on from there. So thank you again so much for watching. If you have any thoughts or are kind of any advice for me, even if that is critical advice, feel free to leave it down in the comments. I'm definitely interested in getting any input I can get. Any encouragement also, I would love that. I'm definitely just jumping into trying to figure this out for myself, but anyone who wants to come along for the journey, you're welcome to. With that being said, if you'd like to subscribe, I'm gonna throw that plug in there, even though, I mean, it's up to you. Feel free to join. With all that, thanks for joining. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.